I appreciate it tremendously here on WYSL Live and also WENY-ENI Elmira Corning, The Patriot, WACK Newark, New York. Please join me, 585-346-3000. You know, if you're working, I got it. You got to listen to me while you're eating your sandwich or sipping your soup or whatever, eating your slice of pizza, whatever's the thing you're doing right now. But if you're at home, you can still listen to me and you can pick up that phone. I'm happy to bug you, and if you want to bug me. Happy Christmas! I think most of you have your kids at home now. I would assume if you hadn't already, you do now. I know I do. It was a decent Christmas for me, considering what was going on. Happy that I had my family together. I know many people weren't able to get their families as together as they usually do. Usually mine is a small gathering, so mine really wasn't that different. But I could tell that with my family, at least, it was a bit more somber. We were kind of happy for what we had, but there wasn't as much hope. There wasn't as much positiveness as there often is in my house for Christmas. Now, when I was a youngster, Christmas was very different for me. As a young kid growing up in the South Bronx with my family, my father had a pretty large family throughout New York City, in Brooklyn, parts in Westchester. So we would many Christmases, 2, 3, 4 households, lots of people, lots of food, traditional stuff that you would imagine in my family. But then when my father died when I was 11 or 12, that changed tremendously, really fast. That changed. It went from many family members all around, multiple houses, to all of a sudden, me and my mom. My father's family abandoned us, and it was just me and my mom once he died. Huge difference in what Christmas was about. All of a sudden, I was the kid putting up the Christmas tree and setting the table and taking care of everything as my mom cooked, and it was just her and I. So we'd find other people, any other people that she knew that would come and join us for Christmas. That's kind of what we did. And so sometimes we'd have people who were, working from the country, and they would come to us. My mom worked at a German bank, and sometimes we'd have people who were, couldn't go back to Germany for their for Christmas, and they'd spend time with us. Friends who had lost someone, and their Christmas was changing. That's how we did it. But there was a somberness there, but still some hope. It was nice. As an adult, most of my Christmases as a young adult were either with my friends, not much with family. As an older adult, I went back to my mom's house again, and the hope came back, and it was great, and it was fun. And for the past 20 years, I've been with my wife, and I have 2 daughters, 16 and 10. Almost every one of them has been a relatively hopeful Christmas. There were a couple bad ones here or there, but most were hopeful. This one wasn't so hopeful. Somber, and we still had to have some gratitude. I think it's healthy for everyone to have gratitude, but that hope was gone. And I think we see that around America, just waiting for something better to happen. And what I want to bring up is the Nashville bombing. Now, why would I bring that up now? Because why does somebody blow themselves up, right? Why in the world would someone blow themselves up? Is it because I'm gonna, show them? Yeah, maybe. But at the core of someone doing something like that, not being told by an entity or a government organization or a terrorist organization or insert group, an individual deciding, I'm going to go blow myself up. It's because that person had no hope. That is my biggest fear of our country right now, for our country right now, is that while usually Christmas is a time for family to get together, to kind of rehash what went on during the year, think about what's going to happen the year after. This year it wasn't as much. And we're going to have a whole lot of people who aren't happy, a whole lot of families with a whole lot less hope. If you remember my last show, I talked about that the entire show. It was a preachy show. I know it was. Some of you liked it, some of you didn't. But it was a preachy show. It was. But I say that because, in my view, the Nashville bomber is the canary in the coal mine. It shows again the hopelessness that so many of us have. Imagine what it would take for you to decide, I'm going to put together some kind of explosive, drive it to a certain area in the town or city near you, and detonate it, and kill yourself. What would it take for you to feel that? That there was no hope. That this was the only way. That this will show them, or this way something good will happen, and my friends won't care if I have any family and friends, if I think they care. That's why I wanted to bring that out. That's what was so important to me from that piece. That was the issue. And many people think, oh, well, he's just some crazy guy or something. Look, maybe he was. I don't know Anthony Warner. Maybe he was. It's possible. But I think we all know that somehow almost every, big, bad thing that's happened this year can be somehow directly related to, what was that? Somehow directly related? Can be somehow related to the government shutdown, the response to COVID. Somehow it can. From George Floyd to Anthony Warner and everything in between. From the people who are surrendering to the fights we're having right now in Congress, all related to that. The pains that we feel related to that. You would think that over time we would have learned that it's not about, oh, something's wrong, let's start hammering people. Why don't they stay in their cage? I was watching CNN last week, and there's a reporter who's on the scene. You know, the on-the-scene reporter, the anchor inside the headquarters says, and, here's Jane Doe, who's on the scene. And this reporter was on the scene. I don't remember her name. I'll call her Jane Doe for sake of argument. So Jane Doe is there, and she's at a airport. She's like, people are still traveling. I can't believe they're still traveling. We've told them how bad it is, how terrible it is, but they're still traveling. Look at this. And I said to myself, you're traveling? You went to the airport. So for you to travel, that's fine, but everybody else is crazy. But more importantly, what did you expect? What did you expect a nation that's desperately looking for hope, that's desperately looking for something to be good, that's desperately looking to connect again, that hasn't connected in a year, and they still want to connect? When you think of all the people who've died in nursing facilities, long-term care facilities, in emergency rooms, in ICUs, and one of the biggest complaints the family has is, oh my God, he died alone. Oh my God, she died alone. I couldn't say goodbye. I didn't have any closure. None of that. If there are 400,000 people who died from this, or whatever the number will be, if only a third of them had that, it's over 100,000 families going, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. They'll carry that with them to their grave. They'll carry that with them for decades. That will affect them. Is that not important? Is the fact that what we're doing by crushing the hope, by smashing the good that we're supposed to feel during this holiday season, the damage that will do, the fact that will create more Anthony Warners. I don't know how many. I don't know who could know. But that will create more of them. Is that not an issue? And the number one thing that most of us are talking about now is whether or not we'll get $600 or $2,000, or whether there'll be another stimulus that will give us more money in the future. Not that I'm against money. I'm not. If the government's going to send me money, I'm going to take it. You should too. You've been paying your taxes. Take the money. I get it. But that's the number one thing. That's the number one thing. The money. It's not number one. It's important. It's valuable. Please take it if you get it. It's not number one. What is actually number one? What's this $2,000 all about? I'll let you know after the break. Larry Sharpe, a free solution, 585-346-3000 after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
When you've been seriously injured in a car crash, you need a lawyer who knows how to beat the big insurance companies. Call me and I'll take them on so you can focus on your health and family.
Car crash, call Salino. Salino, call Salino. 888-2020.
Main Street, Rochester.
Rochester's only NCAA Division II athletic scholarship program wants you. Our Life in the Balance approach to athletics will provide you with an opportunity to succeed in the classroom and in your sport while allowing you the time to be involved with your personal interests and even study abroad. The Redhawks compete in the East Coast Conference, and their student athletes excel in the classroom and on the playing field. If you're ready for the challenge of high-level athletics while earning a college degree that will prepare you for the future, visit robertsredhawks.com.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Hey, welcome back. It's Larry Sharpe here on WYSL Live. WENYENIL Corning, The Patriot. WACK Newark, New York. A free solution, 585-346-3000. Before the break, I was talking about the money. We're all worried about the money. And we aren't as worried about the hope and the emotion and the connection and all those things that keep us, getting out there and doing things. And sadly, if you're in the Western New York area, then you probably know that that's been happening for our government too, right? They were just talking about the idea of Rochester deciding to waive fees for licensing. And I thought at first, oh my God, is someone listening to me? Is someone actually saying we should waive these fees for licensing so that people can get back to work faster, so that local communities can start, starting local businesses, so that as the cities begin to empty and go into the suburbs and to rural areas, that local people can set up small shops and businesses so they can support the people coming into their communities and make some money and grow their communities? Is that what's happening? Yeah, no. That's not what they were thinking. That would have been great. And I would have been amazed if they had actually thought that. But it was what it always is, a money grab. And then they got caught, and then they had to change. Rochester is the one that gets yelled at, but they're not the only ones. They happen to be the poster child of this case. When it comes to the COVID lockdown, of course, taxes go down. People aren't buying and selling stuff. Of course, sales tax goes down. People aren't buying stuff. Of course. Of course, payroll taxes go down. People aren't employed. Common sense. Okay, got it. So you would think, what would a government do when I look ahead and see, hey, my tax base is going to go down. I've got to find a way to get people working or to get commerce going so I can get my tax base back up. That seems to make sense. No, I'm totally wrong on that. No. The answer is, how do I punch them harder? How do I still steal their money, even though now they can't work? And what was that? Grabbing fees and grabbing dollars for licenses that weren't even being used. Yeah. Gaming licenses, other licenses for facilities that aren't even open. You're still going to pay for your license, but I can't open it. But you got to pay your license fee. But I can't use it. It doesn't matter. You got to pay your fees. And the government came down hammering, taking fees again and again. And people say, well, why am I paying a licensing fee when I can't use everything that I'm paying the license for? And eventually, someone noticed and said, wow, that's even too bad for us. All right, fine. We're going to waive the fees. But of course, once they waive the fees, but you can't use the facility. Why? Because you didn't pay the licensing fee. But how am I going to make the money so I can pay for the licensing fee? That's not my problem. That's the government's answer. Not my problem. You can't use the facilities to make the money to pay for the license, or you can pay for the license and not use it. Government logic. Money grab. Because all they care about is the money. They're not looking for the future. How do I keep my small businesses open and rocking and rolling? And I use this example of my city, New York City. I live here in New York City, born here in Manhattan, lived in Manhattan, the Bronx, and Queens, and some time on Long Island too. It's my city. My city is basically a communist state. And if you've been here or lived here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So why would so many people stay? Why would they stay here? Because it used to be that the opportunity in this city, the opportunities were so huge. The opportunities for growth, for success, for learning, for achieving goals was so high. You pay it. Yeah, I'll pay the price. I'll live in this city because I can walk in here and within 3 weeks, I can have a job that gets me 6 figures, and I can be working with some of the biggest, most powerful companies and people in the world. I'll do it. Done. If I have a niche that I want to be the guy who is the best, violin player in the world. Shots here. I'll take it. I'll pay it. But those days are gone. This city isn't what it used to be when it comes to opportunity. The COVID shutdown showed that. Shut the entire city down. Got us all out. You want to be an entertainment guru? Come here. I'll pay the price. It's worth it. But it's not worth it anymore. And we're leaving in droves. 400,000 people have left New York City. That's more than a population of every other city in New York State. There's not a city in New York State that has more population than that. All the people left New York City. Just the city. That's the rest of the state. It's not worth it anymore. As we continue to punish our citizens, they're going to say, I love New York, but it's not worth it anymore. As you will hear me say 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying, New York State is an amazing state. I love it so much. There is so much in this state, from the biggest city in the world to falls, to mountains, to farmland, to lakes, to rivers, to beaches, you name it, culture, history, it's here. Whatever is your thing, it's here in New York State. We love New York State. We just hate our government. Fix the government? New York State's amazing. Amazing. And if you live here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. An amazing state with a horrible government. That's all about a money grab. This is my problem. We are focused on the money. The government's focused on the money. We are focused on the money. What we aren't focused on are two critical things, which is the two things that matter most when it comes to both our family, our business, who we are, the future, and debt. I don't see anyone talking about those. What are the plans to deal with debt and our future? What are the plans past, let's just put a Band-Aid on this broken state? Yes, I'm a broken record. I know I am, but I care. And that's what matters. So I'm going to be the broken record because that's what matters. If all of a sudden you don't have income or your income's cut by 2/3, whatever it is, if you've been in any spot close to where I've been, and I'm sure you probably have, or maybe even worse than I've been, you can go without. But you still got to pay your bills. Your debt is what's crushing you. Debt's what crushes us all. It isn't just surviving. We can decide to go without. And you know what? I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to go on that vacation. I'm not going to buy that. We deal with that every day. We make those choices all the time. That we can handle. But when the debt's crushing, that we can't. That's what keeps us up at night. That's what makes us yell at our kids. That's what makes us yell at our spouse or our family member. That's what makes us go off. That's what makes us not be able to even concentrate to make the next step. It's that oppressive debt that we have. Not the fact that I can't buy the new coat this year. Then I'm not buying a coat this year. Fine. Or I can't get the cool shoes that I want. I can't buy a new car for a couple years. Fine. That we can handle. It's that debt that hurts us. It's that fear that there's no way out, that there's no hope, that there's no future. It's when that happens that we're in trouble. And these quick money grabs by the government, all these quick payments to us. Again, not that I'm against the money. Please, if you get the check, take it. And if you can, please spend it. And if you're in a good spot, if you happen to be in a good spot where you haven't missed a paycheck and life is good for you right now, I hope that's your case. And if it is, then maybe donate that check to a charity or a church group or a civic group that you trust and believe in. Maybe do that. But spend that money, please. All I'm saying is that's a Band-Aid. How do we get back in action? How do we get rid of that debt? Or how do we set up a situation to where we can get that commerce going so we can pay it off? Or worst case, which is still a good case, is how do we create an environment to where it's worth it? To where I got this debt, I got this oppression, but man, everything else is just so good, I'll deal with it. That's the worst case. But I would take that. I would take that. I've lived in a city like that for years. That I would take. But when even that's gone, wow. I think people want some normalcy. We'll talk about that when we get back. Larry Sharpe, host of The Sharpe Way. Please follow me on all the internet things. The Sharpe Way. Here on a free solution, 585-346-3000. Back after the break.
bless America. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center. We'll look at mostly cloudy skies tonight with temperatures dropping into the teens. Tomorrow morning, a chance of snow showers, breezy at times with gusts around 35 miles per hour. Rain later in the day as temperatures will be above freezing, 42 degrees for the high. Thursday, a mix between rain and snow showers and drier Thursday night. This is Samantha LaRocca for WISL.
There's a place in the village of Avon you and your critters will love. Whether they're big or small, whether they've got hair, fur, or feathers, Avon Feed fits every need. There's a full selection of pet foods for dogs and cats, bird feeders, suet, and dry shot boots and garden shoes. They've got grass and clover seed, too. Check out our frequent flyer birdseed program. Buy 10 bags of birdseed, get the next bag free. Choose farm feeds and great equine products like Blue Seal and Neutrina, plus Poland drains. Everything for your pet from feeding bowls to toys, leads, collars, and tie-outs. Avon Feed and Supply has what the big pet chain stores will never have. Tim Cole and his great knowledgeable staff. And if you think you'll save money at that pet superstore, well, think again. While you're at Avon Feed, don't forget the two-legged pets with River Rat Thousand Island cheese and great flavors, including hard-to-find mean and nasty, plus once again nut butters, Nunday mustards, Dan's garlic, and Rickles pickles. Open weekdays 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 4. Avon Feed and Supply, West Main Street at the bottom of the hill, just west of the Circle.
Now is a great time to shop at Victor Chevrolet. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Winter driving is safe and fun when you lease the 2020 Equinox front-wheel drive LS. Just $129 a month for 36 months. Or buy it for just $24,990. Or enjoy the versatility of a tough and roomy 2021 Silverado LST. Lease for only $229 a month for 36 months. Or buy it for just $43,990. Lease a 2020 Chevy Trax LS front-wheel drive for just $89 a month for 36 months. For Equinox, Trax, or Trailblazer, must have current lease and household. 10,000 miles per year. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment, tax, acquisition, and DMV fees are all due at signing for all leases. Would you prefer to buy? Save big when you buy a 2019 Trax LT all-wheel drive with convenience package, power drive seat, and keyless entry and start. MSRP $26,145. Buy it now for just $19,990. This winter, find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor. Visit VictorChevrolet.com.
Eisen Rochester is a full-service ophthalmology office, and we specialize in general ophthalmology, taking care of people from childhood to adult and seniors. We do general eye exams. We specialize in cataract surgery, corneal surgery, and disease, as well as LASIK surgery. We also have a full-service optical shop and contact lens fitting service.
Visit Eisen Rochester at 1157 Fairport Road.
Did you get your flu shot? Influenza and COVID-19 share many symptoms. While a flu vaccine cannot protect you from a COVID-19 infection, it will help reduce flu illnesses and help keep you out of the doctor's office or hospital. Get your flu shot this season. Protect others and our healthcare system. For more information or to find a flu vaccine near you, visit www.livingstoncountyus/doh.htm.
Merry Christmas, YSL.
Soul Sun Chargers, the perfect gift idea. A simple, fun solution to charging problems on outdoor adventures. It cleverly gives your loved ones the power to stay connected should disaster strike. Coupon code WYSL gives you 25% off all mini sun charger bundles during the holiday season. Visit bestsunchargers.com today. And happy holidays from Soul Green Energy.
Music, the universal language of all living beings. Why does music move us to joy or to tears? Experience what artists, producers, and engineers wanted you to hear. Audio Renaissance exists to honor musicians and their art. In these challenging times, the solace of music is more important than ever. Audio Renaissance specializes in high-performance audio gear for discriminating listeners. Phone Audio Renaissance at 334-7676 today.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, East Main Street, next to the Bank of Castile.
Time to put your liberty into action. Come and listen to The Liberty Show here on WYSL Voice of Liberty on the first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. This month we'll be interviewing Second Amendment activist Maj Touré. Hope you're able to tune in.
A free solution.
Hey, Larry Sharpe here on A Free Solution. 585-346-3000. WYSL, WENYENI, Elmira Corning the Patriot, WACK, Newark, New York. I was talking before about debt, about hope. And I want to touch it a little bit more. Am I against the idea of the government giving us $600 or now $2,000 some cash? Am I against the idea? In theory, yeah, I am. In practice, the government gave us damage. Maybe the government's got to pay us back. So maybe that's fine. But here's my problem. $2,000 times whatever, say 100 million households, is that about right? How much money is that? Is that $1 trillion? Right? Or whatever the number is they're saying it is? If that's what it was, if all it was $2,000 times 100,000 households, or whatever the number of households is, I've actually forgotten how many actual households it is, then that's, $200 million or whatever that number is, and that's the package. We're done. Here's your money, go. Now go spend it and get the economy going. But that's not what it is. The problem I have with this bill is it isn't a stimulus package and it isn't a help people package. It's neither. It does both poorly. It helps out, other things. It puts money into places we shouldn't even put money on. It adds things like makes live streaming a felony now, so that now we're supporting massive corporations like Disney and HBO and those companies. It does all those things. I know people get mad and go, Larry, why is this money going to people who are, already on public assistance, they're already on welfare? Why are they getting the money? Or why are you giving money to millionaires? It's a great question. But the answer becomes, what's the goal of this? Is the goal to get the economy going? Is that the goal? And if they go, yeah, this is not to make us whole, this is to get people spending money, then give the money to everybody. Just throw the money out there. Stop giving it to big corporations. Give it to the people so they can buy the corporation stuff. Stop giving it to local governments. Give it to the people so they can spend money, and their taxes will then fund the state and the city. Just give the money to the people, whatever that's going to be, $2,000, $10,000, whatever's the number. It should be that simple. X dollars times 100 million households, or whatever many households there are. That's it. That's done deal. Or say this is not to stimulate the economy. This is to make people whole because we screwed them over this year, so to make them whole. In that case, how can you even have a flat dollar amount? Some guy lost his business. Some gal lost her accounting firm. That's not the same as me losing my job. Both bad. Both hurt me, right, or the individual. But it's different. This does nothing well. This just says, please don't throw us out of office. Please keep us in power. Let's make sure nothing changes. And that was the part that I meant to talk about from before. The idea that people want some closure, some normalcy. We kind of want to move on. And sadly, so do our elites. Our elites who put us in a situation, they don't want actual change. They want to just go back in your cage, like that CNN anchor was saying. Why won't these people stay in their cages? Why won't they shut up and do as they're told? What's wrong with them? Our elites want that. Now, if you think Biden is the answer, you probably don't want to hear that. You get mad. No, Biden's different. If you think Trump is the answer, you're like, no, Trump is different. No, they're not. I just made a lot of people angry, I know. But neither of them is actually thinking about the future of us. They're thinking about right now. We got to keep the Senate, or we got to take the Senate. They're thinking about that. They're thinking about that. The current party politics, because this is the end of the world. And I hear it with people telling me, Larry, you don't understand. This is about the Senate. It's the end of the world if the Democrats win. It's the end of the world if the Republicans win. Well, if we don't think about the future, it's the end of the world either way. Well, at least it's not the other guy. Yeah, so it's the end of the world a little bit slower. I'd like not end of the world. Fast. Are we driving off the cliff at 60 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour? How about we don't drive off the cliff? Let's put on the brakes. That's what I'm talking about. But people don't want to hear it. I keep saying things, you keep seeing it happen, and we keep not changing. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's why I keep doing this. It's why I keep doing this. You know, a lot of people right now are upset because New York City paper, the New York Post, got mad at Trump. I said, Trump, stop it, give it up, just surrender, you've lost, move on. People are mad. But they shouldn't be, because the Post is also part of the establishment. Of course, it wants to move on. It wants normalcy. I'm not mad. I expect it. You should too. It's the norm. Let's go back to normalcy. Let's go back to the way things used to be to the best of our ability. And I want to go down this road for a second. In a way, they're right. What, Larry? How can they be right? In a way, they are. People asked me before the election to decide, predict who's going to win. And I said, I don't know. Last time I predicted, I was wrong. But other ones, I predicted, I was clearly wrong. So I've been wrong in the past. This time I wouldn't do it. People are like, Larry, I'm like, no, I don't trust the data. I don't know who to believe. I don't know what poll to believe. I don't know what company to believe. This is a toss-up, is what I thought prior to the election. Do I know if there was fraud or not? I assume there was some fraud. I have no idea. Do I think it was as bad to give the election to Trump? I don't know. But here's the sad part. And again, I know people want me to take a side on this. I'm not, because it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. When the New York Post and Fox News turn against Trump, when CNN and MSNBC are now already past it and now talking about COVID again, and that's already past it, the country is just going to be like, fine, whatevs. This is what it is. So whether it is or isn't, this is what it is. And I know the response is, but Larry, there's proof. Let me send you links. I know. I get them every day. And this isn't about proof, whether it is or isn't. This isn't about logic. It's not. It's about emotion. Elections are about emotion. They're popularity contests. They're not putting the best person in office. In fact, often the best person doesn't win, often. It's usually whoever has the most power or money or influence. That's who usually wins. Not always, exceptions, but that's the usual thing. And that's how the game is played. It's not fair. You're right. I know. I've run an election, and it wasn't fair. And that's what happened. That's the game I played, and I pay the price for that. And I accept that. Even, of course, I don't like it. Of course. But I accept it. There's a part of us who really should move on and go to the next piece. Move on and go to the next piece. When I lost my election, and of course I'm not trying to say at all there was fraud that I actually won the election. I'm not saying that at all. There was absolutely shenanigans, and I got less votes than I should have received. Again, not saying I won. I probably got about 200,000 or 300,000 votes versus the 100,000 that they said I got. Doesn't matter though. I didn't sue anybody. I'm not screaming and yelling. It didn't affect the election. I still lost by a lot. Didn't change a thing. I say that to those who supported me so they feel better. That's it. Gives them a warm, fuzzy feeling of, hey, we did better than we thought. But once I realized what happened, how the ballots were set up so that I couldn't get the votes that I wanted to get, I didn't go, let me sue everybody, let me fight and scream. What I said was, I got it. The system was against me. I wasn't going to win anyway. I would have done better. That I would have done. You know what? I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to work for my party for the next year to gain more power for my party. And for those of you who know, I lost in 2018, but I went around the state again in 2019, and we had over 100 libertarian victories in New York State in 2019. I pushed for the future. I think Trump should think the same way. So should Biden. So should you. So should I. And I told you that story because when it was my time, I did it. I'm trying to practice what I preach, be the change I want to see. I hope more of you will do that too. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe of Free Solution. Back after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Free solution.
Hey, welcome back. Larry Sharpe. Thank you for giving me your afternoon. I appreciate it tremendously. I'm host of The Sharpe Way. Please follow The Sharpe Way on all the internet things. Follow The Sharpe Way on Twitter, or better yet, on YouTube. That would be amazing. You can see all the cool things that I try to do every day here. Right now, I'm on WYSL Live and also WENY, ENI in Elmira Corning, The Patriot, and WACK in Newark, New York. 585-346-3000. Prior to the break, I was talking about thinking about the future, accepting what has happened now, and moving on. The problem, the issue that I wanted to think about is that forgiving is not forgetting. Now that may seem odd, Larry. Why are you saying this? Because again, I always take this down to the individual. Right, again, you know I'm a libertarian, word on my sleeve. I bring it down to the individual, to you. When you forgive somebody, you should do it for you, actually not for them. I mean, you can if you love that person, you want to give them forgiveness because you love them, I get it. But if you don't love them, you should probably still forgive them. Just as that debt that we talked about before will sit in your brain and stop you from sleeping and sit in your gut and make you angry and make you short and aggressive with people who you care about and people who you should care about. Not forgiving people does the same thing. It makes you feel angry. It makes you punish those who you shouldn't punish. But if you forgive somebody, you can move on. Yes, you, not them. They might be able to. Depends upon who they are. But you can at least move on. In fact, some people who've wronged you, they're already moved on. They're already on the next thing. They don't care about you. They already screwed you over. Next. The only person mad sometimes is you. So maybe you should forgive. But it doesn't mean you forget. It doesn't mean you don't learn your lesson, prepare yourself better, or not get caught again. You know it. You know it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You knew I was going there. And I am. So you can forgive and not forget. You can say, you know what? Got it. This is what happened. Okay? I got it. That will happen to me exactly one time. Learn my lesson. Not again. And I forgive the person. They did what they thought was in their best interest. Okay. But I see you. I see you. And I know how you are. I'm going to act accordingly in the future. That's a healthy way to move on. That's the best way to move on. That's the way to keep not just your future, but a better future for those around us. But Larry, you're giving up. No, I'm not. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm declaring victory and moving on. That's all I'm doing. Often it happens to many of us, and you know it. The more you hold on to this, the less effective you are in the future. The more you do things that you regret. The more you take action that you wish you hadn't taken. The more you do something rash and go, what was I thinking? I shouldn't have done that. I was just so mad. Forgive. It makes sense for you. Yes, I'm telling you that forgiving can actually be selfish. It can be. And maybe sometimes you might want to be that. When someone else around you is being selfish, maybe you should be selfish too. If they're looking out for their best interest, perhaps you look out for yours. And by doing that, forgive, move on, prepare for the next battle. I'm sure you've heard this saying. It's Proverb Day, I guess. You don't want to throw good money after bad. And what does that mean? You spent the money. It was a mistake. It doesn't work. Move on. Build something else. We don't want to have more sunk cost. Right? You don't want diminishing returns. I think we have that now. I feel like our country is feeling that right now. I'm asking you and everybody, your friends, your family, to start forgiving and to start thinking about moving on. Not forgetting, just forgiving and starting to move on. It's the right answer for you, for sure. Probably for them. But I'm also sure, overall, it's the right answer for our communities, for our state, and for our nation. So I get why the Post said, Trump, stop it. I get it. And I get why Trump doesn't want to stop it. I get both of them. But I got to tell you, if I was in Trump's shoes, I think I would. I think I'd stop it, and I'd focus on getting the Senate. I'd focus on, victories locally next year and changing the hearts and minds of people in America. That's what I'd be doing. You might say, Larry, how do you know that? Because that's what I'm doing now. Right? Please, I'm not saying that I had the same experience as Trump. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I had my own version of that. Just for clarity, I'm not comparing myself and saying I'm like Trump. No. I'm saying I had my own version of that in my own world. And when that version happened to me in my world, that's what I did. And that's what I'm still doing. I'm trying to influence your heart, influence your mind to be a kinder, a more forgiving, a more future-looking person to the best of your ability and my ability. I would like everyone to start doing that. I know I'm being a kind of preachy now because it is Christmas time. It's the holiday season. So I should be, shouldn't I? And you look at the battles we're having right now, how are we going to fix them? I want you to think about this for a second, if you would. January 20th, we're going to swear in a president. I'm assuming it's Biden. That's where my head is. I believe that's what's going to happen. And when we do, we're going to have tens of billions of Americans who are going to be unhappy, who are going to be yelling, not my president. What if Trump pulls something out of the air, he makes it happen, and he gets inaugurated? It's him. He takes a second term. We're going to have tens of millions of Americans who are going to be yelling, not my president. Neither of these options is a good win. They're a win, right? Whoever gets it gets the win, yeah. But it's a Pyrrhic victory. It's a victory that divides us even more, that makes things even worse. I had someone on my Sharpe show the other night say, hey, Larry, don't you agree that if we're going to go back to normalcy, that Biden is the best choice? And I got to say, if you want normalcy, he's right. I just don't want normalcy. But yeah, he's right. If you want to go back to the old ways, if you want to go back to normalcy, Biden is the right guy. That's true. I just don't want normalcy. But his comment's correct. His question is a good question, and I think he's right. And I think a lot of people are going to go back to that. They just want normalcy. There's been so much fighting. They want some closure. They want some normalcy. My answer would be, okay, that's what they want. I got it. Let's go back to some form of normalcy. But let's stay on point and making real change in this country. I think we have an opportunity right now. As you've heard, they always say, don't let a crisis go to waste. I agree. But let's not use the crisis to be more of a dictatorship, to be more authoritarian. Let's use the crisis to make real change. The first step is to forgive. The second step, not to forget. The third step, think about the future. Let's start ending our debt. Let's stop sleeping better and thinking about how we change this country. We can do it. Now is the time. Anger isn't the answer. Thought is the answer. Larry Sharpe, host of the Sharpe Show. Please follow me on all the internet things, particularly YouTube the Sharpe Way, here in our free solution. Thank you so much for giving me a part of your afternoon. I will see you guys very soon.